Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. When we went to break, we were talking with David Hardin. David is the founder and executive director of Aurum Preparatory Academy Charter School. What is a charter school?
A charter school is a public school that has certain autonomies. And some of those autonomies that you're afforded are with regard to the curriculum, with regard to the budget, and with regard to the governance structure. And so you still receive the same public monies that any public school
The
receives.
ADA, average daily attendance?
Precisely.
Okay.
So for every child that's enrolled in the school, you receive a certain amount annually based on their attendance. That's the ADA, average daily attendance. And you're able to have more flexibility with regard to how you implement the educational program. And so I think in many ways, a charter school allows you to have some flexibility and allows you to be nimble in how you serve your children.
And Aurum goes 6th through 8th grade.
That is correct.
Why 6th through 8th grade, which is middle school? Why middle school? Why not elementary school? Why not high school? Tell us, explain it to us. I know you know.
Absolutely. Middle school is, I guess, first and foremost, not for the faint of heart. And particularly within the context of Oakland, the middle schools in particular are really where students are falling behind. So there are several high performing elementary schools, but what's happening, I think, in part is for the ones that aren't, students are arriving 2 to 3 years behind. We often have, in fact, on average, most of our students come to us about 2.5 to 3 years behind. But in middle school, students are starting to fall so far behind that those 2 to 3 years end up becoming 4, 5, even 6 years. So that at the point when students arrive to high school, the gaps become so challenging that it really starts to affect students' graduation rates and the real viability of their college prospects. And so what we see and why we think middle school is so important is that we see it as the last stop to be able to close the gap sufficiently that students can actually go into high school on grade level, that students can really decide that I'm going down the right path and to be able to get caught up. So we have a particular goal, given that our students oftentimes don't arrive to us on grade level. And that's our purpose, is to say, even if you don't come to us on grade level, we can accelerate your education. So that, and what we've been seeing is that our students oftentimes are growing 1.5 to even 2 years in both English and math. So even if you started on a 4th grade level, let's say, in 6th grade, when you arrive to us, you still have the opportunity to leave in 8th grade as an 8th grader or more.
Now, what does it take to get into your school? How do you apply? How do you get into it?
Great question. You can go to www.aurumprep.org and fill out an application. We are a part of the Enroll Oakland process, meaning that any student in Oakland can apply to the school completely free of charge. And all you really need is your parents' information, your basic information, where you live, proof of residency, and then just a couple of simple questions about your living situation. And then after that, you go into a lottery. So in the case that...
Oh, it's a lottery process. Okay.
There is a lottery in the case that we have more students that apply than we have space available. That hasn't been every year, but it is the case in a year where you have more students that apply. It just becomes, let's say you have 60 seats available and you have 100 students apply, it just becomes random as to which 60 of those 100 students would get in.
Now, do you look at the academic achievement of the students prior to coming to your school? For example, grades 1 through 5.
Great question. No, we don't.
You don't?
No, we don't. We don't evaluate that at all. Any student who applies is.
So a student with a poor academic record can come and apply once he or she finishes the the fifth grade, can then come and apply to your school.
Absolutely. We in fact, we welcome it. That is our purpose, is to be able to serve this community. So we are genuinely looking to serve any student that is looking for access to a quality education.
Now, what is your primary focus when it comes to those students in terms of teaching them? What's the primary focus there?
Great question. Our focus is really threefold. Mm-hmm. The first thing is around character education and building moral leadership. In fact, that's central to our mission, is that our students will become the next generation of moral leadership. And without doing that, and without having strong relationships and talking about who we are and our impact within this world and how we're going about within the world and whether we're doing it in a moral way, everything else can be misguided. Because Martin Luther King once said, intelligence plus character is the true goal of education. And we hold that to be true at Aurum.
And Martin Luther King Jr. was a graduate of Morehouse College. Character and moral leadership, so important to developing students. I tell you, when I hear that, I just get excited. But we got to go to break. I'm sorry we have to go to break. But again, don't touch that remote. Put it down. We will be right back with All About Community. And I'm speaking with David Hardin. And my name is Robert L. Harris.